Hey, my name is Chenny from GoFinger Holdings. I am the product manager of TestRay app inside Jira. Welcome to today's micro webinar. Today, I would like to talk about integrating TestRay with Jira for test case management. So first of all, let me launch my demo instance. Let me show you how you can do your integration configuration inside Jira. Go to top right corner, Jira administration page, and then manage apps. Login. And once you install a plugin, on the left side, you will see Synapse RT with a list of configuration options. The most important one is the first configuration page. Once you click on that, there are a lot of configuration options, like you can map your own issue types to TestRay issues like requirement and defect to make sure that these issues will have TestRay features and panels. And the second one is Synapse RT project. It helps user to enable TestRay feature to one of your project or all of your project. So you see here, I have list of project configured with TestRay. Let me take this flight reservation system as an example. It has been enabled. So if I open this Jira project, you will see TestRay menus on the main menu here, like requirements, test suites, test plans, traceability. And on the left side, you will see the same set of menus like requirements, test suites. All these menus, they are from TestRay app. But there's another case. For example, you have some teams that don't care about test management capability at all. They just use Jira native feature to track their tasks. For example, your operation team, your human resource team. They don't want to see any extra menus from other plugins, otherwise it will create some confusion. So in this case, TestRay provide such kind of flexibility. If you remove the project from the list and then save it, and then go back to the same project again. You see here on the left side, there's no any evidence of our TestRay app. It is just a normal Jira native project. And if you go to issue list, even it is a test case issue, it is just a normal Jira issue. You see there's no additional panels from TestRay, there's no steps, there's no requirement linkage, there's no ad hoc test run, etc. And even in the main menu, you see the test menu is disappeared. The reason behind is that the Jira system consider this is just a Jira native project without any additional features from TestRay, because TestRay is not enabled for this project. So such kind of capability or flexibility is quite important. As I mentioned, you have different teams, right? Only testing related teams, they are going to use TestRay features. They want to see TestRay menus. They want to see TestRay features to manage their test cases, executions, test plans, etc. For other projects, it shouldn't be displayed there at all. So now let me just add it back to my project list. And then let's go to the next one, Synapse RT roles. For TestRay app, we also have such kind of permission control. If I go back to this permissions table, you will see for tester role and test lead role, the difference is that test lead can do manage test plans, means you can define your test scope. You can add, remove test cases from your plan and cycle, but tester cannot do that. This is kind of permission control based on your team roles in your organization. So these also can be customized. I mean, you can add additional features or you can remove this capability from one of your role. Let's go back to configuration again. So there are some other minor configurations like notification, like test data for your test keys, time tracking, etc. All these options helps user to customize these two in your system to make sure that the tool fits your testing team better. Okay, now let's see the product or TestRay app has been integrated with your Jira system and in your Jira project. Let me refresh to see this project again. Okay, so once the project is refreshed, you see TestRay menus are back again. So in this webinar, I want to tell you some tips and best practices, right? So for testing team, the most important is your test case data and how you organize your test case. So inside TestRay, go back to this tester suites page. You see here we have tester suites. So each tester suite means a test case repository or a folder. You can put your test cases and subfolders there. Let me open the first one with 11 test cases to see how test cases are organized. So inside TestRay, the best practice is that you need to create different levels of subsuite to make sure that your test cases are organized into a logic way. So the same structure will be presented during your test execution. So when the user is going to execute your test cases, he can start from the top to the bottom because all these test cases are organized in a such logic way. So to update your organization, to update your structure is quite simple. You can just drag and drop to change the sequence of your test case in the tree structure. And there are a lot of other features, for example, add test keys, link existing test keys, import test keys, export test cases. All these operations or the features are created to help user to manage their test cases in a very convenient way. So this is for the test case management part. Okay, once the team have a list of test cases, definitely the next step is to test the planning and execution, right? So TestRay give you another page, test plans to hold, or your test plans which are in progress. They are still going on. Let me just open one of my test plan here. You see the issue type is test plan. This issue type is created from TestRay app. So here in test case panel, it helps user to define the test scope by selecting a set of test cases. So we provide different options to do that, but the best practice is that we use add test suite button to pick up my test cases from my test case repository because your test cases have already been organized in a logic way, right? We can simply choose different subfolders to make sure all the test cases from the folder will be presented and executed from this particular test plan. And then let's see if you are going to execute your test cases from the plan with multiple platforms or configurations or browsers. So it is not necessary to create multi-test plans to cover that. Instead, we provide test cycles to make sure that the same test plan can be executed independently based on different configurations or platforms. For example, here in my demo instance, you see the first round of my testing is done with Chrome. Then the second round is for Firefox, and then the third round is for IE. And definitely I can create another one for round 4 for Safari testing. I can simply do like this way, and then open my test cycle. You will see the same set of test cases you planned will be loaded here. So to do your assignment is quite simple. You can just choose your subfolders and then assign, and then put the name like Jenny assign. And then the rest, I want to assign them to different testers, like name is QA tester. I can simply do this. If I go to flat wheel, it will be quite easy to get this information. You see the first 4 executions assigned to Jenny and the rest assigned to QA tester. So if everything is good, and then you can simply start your cycle. So the execution button is displayed here. Then you can keep going to execute your test case step by step, like this way, or the steps are passed, and then go to next one. All steps are failed. Next one, all steps are blocked. Okay, now I have executed 3 executions. The first one is passed, failed, and then blocked. Now, if you go back to your test plan, and here you see for the first test case, you see it has been executed 4 times from each different test cycles, like Safari, and then Internet Explorer, and then Firefox, and then Chrome. So this is how planning and execution done inside TestRay is quite simple. So think about that. Once your execution is done, you need to check the status. So TestRay provide 2 types of report. One is Jira dashboard, from where you can configure your test plan cycle there. You can get a brief information of your testing. And then we also have very detailed report in Snapshot reports page. So here you can get the report from each different test plan and different cycles like this way, and get the report. So all these reports can be exported into a CSV file or the PDF file for offline usage. Yeah, that's pretty much for today's webinar. If you have any question or want to learn more about our product, feel free to reach out us at sales@goldfingerholdings.com.